guys, welcome back to We Watched Movie. I'm Mike.
Ready, Kafka? I'm Jay.
Halloween 3, Season of the Bitch.
Oh,
The Witch.
my ex-wife.
I gotta tell you guys, Michael Myers is not in this movie. I don't know if you still don't know that. And that's what happened at the box office. This pissed everybody off, obviously, because you got Halloween 1, Halloween 2. John Carpenter wanted it in there. They blew fucking Michael and Loomis up, and he wanted to go with what his idea was from the beginning, which is, let's take this shit and make it an anthology. Let's do a different Halloween tale every year. And I think it could have worked if they had done it with Halloween 2. But now that you've got Halloween 1 and 2, and they're both Michael Myers, it shocked people and confused them when they did it.
It would have only worked on PBS. We both know this. Actually, an anthology with the Halloween series, telling different tales, kind of doing a Are You Afraid of the Dark for adults or Tales from the Crypt, would have worked on, I think, cable or something like, or an HBO or a Cinemax or something like that with a little booby thrown in there. Ooh. But as far as a movie, like releasing a Halloween movie film every year with a different situation, just using the name Halloween, I don't think that's going to work as far as cinema goes. That's probably why. Now, there's nothing wrong with this movie overall. Like, this movie, actually, as a movie, if you're just going to watch it as a movie, and if you can remove the idea that Michael Myers is not going to be in that slicing tits, it's not a bad film. There are some problems with it for sure, but there's still solid acting in it throughout, and overall, it keeps you engaged if you can just, again, remove yourself from the idea that Michael's ever going to pop up and say, "Where's Laurie?"
It feels like a fucking John Carpenter movie, though. That's one of the great things about it. Like, the way it's directed, the sound, like, the music. And I know...
I love when Kurt Russell comes in.
Yeah. But the whole thing, man, it just feels like John Carpenter directed. He didn't... his longtime friend, Tommy Lee Wallace, directed it. Tommy Lee Wallace was actually up to do Halloween 2, but he didn't like the script. He thought there was too much gore in it, so he didn't want to do that.
What the fuck is he talking about? There's that gory shit into it, like, throughout.
Yeah, well, I mean, in 2, they got the needle in the eye and the fucking... The hot bathe face.
Oh, yeah.
Jim. But yeah, so...
But what a way to go.
He directs this, and it starts out with this fucking guy getting chased by these dudes in suits, and the music here is great, right? But he's running away from these dudes in suits, and one of the worst shots...
Like Men in Black motherfuckers.
in the entire movie is when he's struggling with this guy he's fighting, and this guy manages to pull the jack on this car, and the car comes rolling, and it's the slowest death ever. The car is going like 2 miles an hour, and this superhuman power dude is choking him, but the car barely hits him, and he's like... Ugh!
It reminded me of the Deadpool scene. You're gonna die by a Zamboni. But I just looked at them like debt collectors. They're all around every fucking corner, and they're relentless as shit.
There's a true hidden meaning behind this.
They are. They are like either IRS or debt collectors. Like, you're like, it's all good now. Don't worry. They're gonna stop calling my phone. And then around the corner, like,
Gossel says, I gotta break a thumbs. I gotta break a thumbs.
Whatever. Polly, can I have a job?
So this gas station dude takes this dude to the hospital, where he's like, there's a storm coming. And this is where you get introduced.
Riders on the storm.
You get introduced to classic fucking amazing, the great one, Tom Atkins.
Whoa, hold on, slow down. It's getting late. I could use a drink.
So
Who
good.
just drinks and gets laid. Like, I fucking love him. Dude, it's getting late. I could use a drink.
That motherfucker looks like the guy that would sell the paper towels. It's not Bounty. It's the guy with the big mustache. Brawny. He could be the Brawny dude. He looks like if he was wearing like a plaid shirt and just be like, I always have a Brawny paper towel when I drink my whiskey in the day. Fucking yes. Will we have sex? We will.
I'll call you Monday.
He could just literally, every time he comes on, there should be a bourbon commercial.
No, I can't remember the name of the hotel. I'll call you Monday. I gotta go. Bye.
It should be a bourbon commercial.
He's constantly
like,
fucking
he's smooth.
drinking. He shows up to his I guess it's his ex-wife.
His ex-wife, yeah.
And his kids are there, and he brings them these Halloween masks, which look a lot like the ones from Halloween 2, like the paper mache looking ones or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, we already got ours. And then you hear that fucking commercial that 3 more days till Halloween. So tune in at 9 for the special giveaway. It's constant through the fucking movie.
Well, also you do get that one quick clip of the immortal Halloween, and they do pay some homage to the original Halloween, so that's pretty cool.
And that's cool, but this commercial is playing constantly through the movie, and it reminds me of Poltergeist 3 when they said Carol Ann's name over and over and over. Carol Ann! It was just like the commercial was constant. And Tom Atkins was
I forgot. Who are we looking for in this house? Oh, Carol Ann. I almost forgot. You haven't said it more than 500 fucking times.
And then, so you get introduced to the great one,
I will say
Dr.
one thing.
Chalice.
I want to talk about Dr. Chalice real quick. Now, he comes off, like, he is the very quintessential like early 80s guy. Like he's got the cool mustache, the Burt Reynolds thing going, and he wears it well. And he's got the smooth voice. It's not Billy D. Williams smooth, but he's got it down to where if he walks in and he's like, "Hello, anybody home? Nobody pay bills around here? Like, what? Am I chopped liver?" He kind of reminded me. He kind of reminded me of you, like when we were kids. He kind of reminded me of dad, like Mike's dad. Like when you would ask, like, "Can I stay over tonight?" He's like, "I don't know." I had to ask my dad. He's like, "Hey, can Mike or can Jay and his brother stay over?" He's like, "Getting a little too old for that, aren't you? Might want to start being a man. Boys don't sleep together." He just reminded me. He was like that. I don't know. He was very like
Thank God for fun.
matter of fact dude.
Yeah, but he's fucking amazing.
He is cool, yeah.
So, but he shows up and he's a shitty dad. I mean, he's just the shitty dad, and he's a shitty husband.
He bought him masks
next husband
from Walmart.
He's like, "So how are you kids doing?" And then as soon as he gets there, his pager's like, "I gotta go."
Did you see but did you see those masks? He either got those at fucking Walmart or Big Lots.
And you know they smell like whiskey and cigarettes.
Yeah. What, you don't like it? You don't like it? Get a fucking job. Here's a pack of cigarettes.
I'll try harder next time. I haven't seen you since Christmas. He goes and he gets called into the hospital for this dude who gets wheeled in. And I love the way that the gas station attendant that wheeled him in, he's like, "There's not gonna be any trouble, is there, mister? I don't want no trouble." And then as soon as like that dude's like, "We're all gonna die," that dude was like, "Fuck, I'm out of here." And he just like beats it out the fucking door.
I also like that the guy was still clutching the mask and they didn't even think to take that away from him when he was like, "Yeah, he was talking crazy. I don't know. He just came in. I swear to God, that's all that happened. I swear to God."
The way,
but when he was like saying, "I swear to God," it's like, nobody's accusing you of anything, man. What's wrong? What else you guys like? I ain't got no crack.
The way he walks out, and like, I don't think I realized it till just now, but the way he walks out and like looks over his shoulder, he does the exact Paul Rudd move in Halloween 6 where he's walking out with the baby and he's like,
"That's just a guy leaving Hot Topics."
So yeah, that's what it looks like when you get your food from a shady Mexican restaurant. You're like, I've made it.
Oh yeah.
Or when you're at the Sprint store and you feel like you got a great
Or
deal.
like you're our age and you went into Spencer's and bought a weird fucking poster. You're like,
and then all of a sudden, and it's a badass scene. Dr. Chalice is like, "I need a fucking nap," and he goes. And first, he sexually assaults his nurse. He grabs her ass and he's like, "I should have married." She's like, "There's cookies in the drawer." And he's like, "I should have married you."
"I want you." Honka. Nice fucking model.
I like that she's like, she's basically like, he's like James Bond. You know, he's basically like James Bond. But I like how she's like, "I don't play around now. I play for keeps."
Oh shit!
You gonna fuck it?
There's a couch on that fucking side of my room.
You gonna taste it? You gonna taste it?
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a totally different time.
Definitely.
But when he goes to sleep, as you were getting to, and that cool death scene happens.
He goes to drunk sleep, by the way. It's a drunk nap.
Was he drunk?
He's like, "I'm drunk," and you can tell he had that, like, "I had 6 beers and now I haven't had anything in 2 hours." He's like, "I need a fucking nap."
It was cool though. He goes and sleeps, the silent sleeps of awesome people like him. And in the meantime, debt collector number 1 has showed up at his door. It's like, "You still owe for that fucking student loan." And there's a gnarly ass death scene. Actually, it comes out of nowhere, really, this death scene, because when he goes into the room and this guy is like kind of recovering or whatever, he like, you know, puts his hand over his mouth and then sticks his fucking fingers. He goes, he goes deep into that shit, and you can, oh my God, as much as they showed, I was like, damn, they're really, because I was like, oh, they're gonna, I saw it for a second, and I was like, it's no big deal. Because it goes back to his fingers and it's like, and you can hear it crunching in, and he like fucking, oh my God,
it's real nasty.
Deep in there.
That's how you get when like someone throws you a stress ball and you're like, squeezing.
He did. He squeezed the shit out of his head.
Just going so deep in there.
And then the nurse comes in. She's like, "What are you doing in here? What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm out." Seacrest out. And he like walks out at the door, and she's like, you know, she starts screaming. Dr. Chalice wakes up from his drunken stupor, runs out the door and chases. She's like, I'm out. And the guy keeps walking calmly. He's like, you know, I left my car running. I can't believe it. And he walks out the door, and then as he's sitting there, you know, Tom Atkins runs out, sees him in the parking lot, says to that guy sitting there, and he starts dumping gasoline on himself.
That was badass.
And then
it was the coolest way to kill yourself ever.
But he lights himself on fire, and immediately the car blows blows up. There was a faulty engine there at Oldsmobile. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But it looked that whole scene reminded me of just what it's like when you get out of work. Just like fuck.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like what I was thinking though was more along the lines of like when you're sitting at your desk and the day's almost over and your boss comes up to you and you know that you said no 3 times in a row for overtime, so you have to say yes. So he comes up, he's like, "Hey, can you stay a few more hours?" And you're like, yeah, I can do it. And then you walk calmly out to your car and you just douse yourself in gasoline and you just end it right there. But yeah, so, and that whole scene happens and then he wants to investigate it because he's weirded out by the whole fucking thing. He goes to a bar, as Dr. Chalice is one to do, and he's sitting there and he's taking shots, and that's when you get Halloween on the bar, on the TV screen. That fucking commercial comes on, and I love his reaction. That guy's like, "Don't you have any Halloween spirit here at O'Houlihan's?" And he's like, "No."
I like how he gets deep involved in the commercial too. He's like,
oh, he mouth breathes because he's holding a shot. He's like,
it's like you when you play video games. You're like,
I do that.
I know.
I do that when I play guitar too. Whenever I'm concentrated, I'm like.
But he was into, like, he was watching. I can only imagine what this guy would think of like Dragon Ball Z. He was like. Can we get some more? Can we get some like normal shit?
You're the only guy in a bar because it's a Tuesday night and nobody has any business taking shots Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. unless you're Dr. Chalice. And
he has to be at work at 6.
Yeah. He has no interest in anything until she walks in and he's like, "No, I don't have any fucking Halloween spirit." And then as soon as a hot girl walks in, he's like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah,
his interest like.
Well, you find out about that girl that walks in. She was actually in the scene earlier. She's the daughter of the guy that got killed early on in the film, and she comes in and finds Dr. Chalice at his favorite bar called Woody's and Fuck. Because she was like, "What did my dad say was the last thing?" He said, "I love you." He didn't even try. He was like, "He said, I love you." And then she's like, "You're a terrible liar." And then he's like, and like, again, a different time. Because if you grabbed a girl like this, like 1,800 fucking lawsuits coming at your ass.
Oh, yeah.
He grabs her and he's like, "Wait a minute. I want to see you naked." That's what he was saying with his eyes, but he was like, "You don't know what's going on. Like, I saw this man, he was talking about that we're all gonna die and this crazy shit's going on. What do you know?" And then they work out an idea that we need to investigate what's going on.
Crazy evil.
Yeah, pretty much. It was Nicolas Cage all over. So they need to, put on their Inspector Gadget panties and really fucking go to town and find out what this whole thing has to do with the Silver Shamrock's mask, which is the mask that he was clutching. And that's where we get into the meat of the potatoes.
Yeah, so they go on their investigative journey, and he's
Inspector Gadget.
He's just trying to get laid the whole time.
Oh no, Mike! What's this about? This is Bacardi bacon! Bacardi, I'm not gonna drink it, Michael. You might drink it. Oh my God, that's right. I am drinking bacon! Ouch! It hurts! Michael! One more thing, Michael. You have to drink this too. Make a mark! The mark of the maker, Michael! Oh my God, Michael!
I'll call you Monday. I'll call you Monday. Like, hangs on the phone, he grabs a 6-pack and jets to the car. I was like, "You're the worst fucking dad ever." But he gets to the car, they go to this strange little town. By the way, the voice you'll hear on the intercoms is pretty cool. It's actually Jamie Lee Curtis's voice, like talking about curfew and all that other shit. And she's also the voice on the phone at another point. But yeah, they go and he's like, "We should," because they get to this town and it's like Stephen King creepiness. Everyone's like staring at him out their windows and he's like, "Well, we don't want to have conversations in front of the whole town. We should get a hotel room."
It kind of reminded me a little bit of towns in our neck of the woods, in our state, because the way that we look and we drive through a town, a certain type of towns, like, I don't like them gay boys. I don't like no gay boys around here. And like, first off, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not gay. Like, you use gel in your fucking hair? Yep, I do. You gonna die.
You gonna die.
You dead as fuck.
We went to Mount Sterling and drank once, and I got punched in the face by a biker. Yeah, true story.
He wasn't a biker. I think he was just he looked like fucking, he was a lonely fucking
It makes me feel better to know that he was a biker.
He wasn't.
I took that punch like a champ.
You did. Did you just fucking punch me, dude? He sounded like such a, I know, but
I was too drunk to fight
I was drunk as fuck because I didn't even realize it was happening. I was on the side, and then when you got drunk, I was like, okay, because my legs wouldn't work. And then I was like, "Hey, stop." He's like, "Get your fucking hands off."
This guy thought I used his jukebox quarters, and I was like, "I ain't giving you your 50 cents." And then he was like,
"Well, you got punched." He's like, "Did you fucking punch me, dude?" It's like something you would say in like 9th grade.
That's another story. That could have happened in that town. So they go there, and
that town though is reminiscent of what we're talking about.
Yeah. So he goes, fucking jaw hurt for like a week. You told me. He goes into the hotel room with her.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's a dumb question, Miss Grimbridge.
That's a stupid question.
In your vagina.
But then he walks over there and they have really weird old man sex because she's so fucking young and he's so fucking old.
Well, he gets that. Well, he's already loaded his wiener up in. Like, he's already cocked the gun and exploded the shotgun. And then he was like, afterwards, he's like,
I bought a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, but then he was like, for their second round, he was like, how old are you again? Like, now you're gonna ask?
Yeah, it's a little late.
You've already kind of unloaded the semen.
A little late, Jim. I said,
and then she's like, I'm older than I look. I was like, I don't know if that makes me feel better. Or,
that works.
Or more turned on. Touch it more, Linda.
And then you get introduced to the guys behind Trick or Treat Studios.
Yeah, they make great masks, quality content.
You get introduced to the people behind Silver Shamrocks, and this is where the movie it kind of takes a dive because they get into this investigative thing, and they're like, oh, we're gonna go and we're gonna look at the plant, we're gonna find this. She sees her dad's car, a whole bunch of stuff happens in between. I like the salesman and his family that pulls up because they pull up and they almost hit him with an RV, and he gets out, he's like, hi fella, how you doing? It's like the typical salesman.
That remind me of the dad and son in Poltergeist when they're eating baked beans when they open the door. He's like, what are you talking about? You ain't gonna use my electricity. They look like those people, but he's a jovial fellow, and he's just there because he's a top salesman and they got invited to be there.
And basically what you find out, to cut it a little bit short here, is that these motherfuckers have stolen a rock from Stonehenge, and they're harnessing the powers
It's
of
like, you guys couldn't have just gone to the gift shop? It's like you bought a whole goddamn Stonehenge.
He's basically Thanos, too, because later on he does his evil explainy thing, and he's like, yeah,
but that's the problem of this movie. There's no rhyme or reason to why he's really doing it. Like, he's a gag artist. Like, his whole idea, like, he created, like, sticky toilet paper and shit like that. Like, that's literally what he's created. And he created these masks. He mentions the fact that it's a Celtic, like, druid ritual that they're trying to use the Stonehenge thing for, but there's no real, like, payoff for it. It's like, he's not gonna get extra power for it. Yeah. He's just doing it like, why are you doing this for? He's like, for the lulz. Because I was bored and you were home.
I got gum on my seat. Gum.
He had no reason to do it other than, like, I ran out of, like, ideas. The film does have pretty memorable death scenes as far as, like, the way they're shot and the grotesqueness of them.
Dude, when he rips that fucking head off, it's like
he took Power Max 5000. You can only do that with Power Max 5000 fucking sugar water powder, muscle powder.
There's a bunch of errant scenes that go into nothing. Like, he has one of his chicks running, the lab for him, trying to investigate this shit, and she gets killed with a fucking drill to the head. And
you didn't see that though. You noticed that they didn't show that.
Yeah, which they should have. But there's a moment between them that I thought was funny because it just made no sense. He was like, I'd always like to take you to dinner, and she's like, we both know that's not true, and he's like, bye.
Well, early on in the film, she gave him a kiss, and he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, like
he's badass though. Like, he can juggle many women. Yeah, that's what he does.
That Dr. Chalice, man.
Finest Christian man I ever did see.
Real man of genius. Shitty dad though. That little boy dies the most heinous death.
That was fucked up.
Because you see him they put that fucking pumpkin mask on. He's like, yay! He watches the fucking special presentation at 9. When he dies and that thing melts and the snakes start to crawl out of his face and the bugs,
and yeah,
just like the lady next door.
Looks like my apartment.
The lady next door who finds the little clip and it like buzzes her and he's like, we had a misfire, Jim. Dude, that was fucking out. Her face was like, Eeyore!
The one that. Well, she took a fucking. She short circuited the fucking thing and it went. And it hit her mouth, and she was still alive. She's like, oh, and then the bug.
Diarrhea.
It was rough. I mean, that was a rough death scene. That was nasty. It was actually done really well as far as makeup and practical effects.
It's like the death scenes in this and the music and the John Carpenter feel of it make it a worthy fucking.
But again, the reason why I just don't like it overall. I mean, I like it not overall. It's not a bad movie. It's like, but the reasoning behind it is, again, the old man guy Cochran explains in some way about what Halloween is and stuff. Yeah, we get candy. No, you don't, bitch. You get more than that. But he kind of explains the ritual or what's going on or all this, but he doesn't really explain why he wants to kill a bunch of kids and their family.
Because of Samhain.
And then, again, it's because of lulz. I don't have anything to do. That's it. Like, he just wants to do it for no reason other than I can do it.
I think he said something like
he wasn't getting power,
like population control or something. But that's why I mentioned he's like Thanos.
And
but
he dies in the most anticlimactic way. Like, 2 fucking beams hit him, and he's like, powder.
And that's how they kill everybody. Like all those doctors die in one big fail swoop. But yeah, so he escapes, and then she goes crazy, right?
Tom Atkins, you find out that his chick is a fucking robot.
Yeah, like
was it the robot the entire time, or was she just did she die and then they replaced her with a robot? He fucked a robot. Damn, Tom Atkins knows no wrong.
And then there's this horribly overdrawn sequence between them fighting. And eventually he runs away and he runs back to the guy. The guy, he's like, hey man, I remember you. He goes in and it's a classic fucking scene. I do love this scene when he gets on the phone and he just knows ABC's number. He calls him and he's like, seriously, god damn it, you have to turn this shit off. And they're like, I don't know if I believe it. He's like, seriously, I don't have any proof, but you have to do it.
That's what I'm trying to talk to him about CNN, Fox, or MSNBC. Could you turn it off, C-SPAN? No.
But it's pretty, I love that scene because it's interesting because you put yourself, it's one of those great put yourself in their shoes sequences. Because like if you know this and you have seconds and you can save part of the world and you have to explain to this TV person who doesn't know you from a prank caller, like how you would go about that, what you would say.
I don't know if he really convinced me.
How would you translate your urgency? Like I found that interesting. And then they get a few of the channels, but they miss one of them. I like that he didn't tell the kid watching the TV at that moment. He wasn't like, hey kid, back away.
You could just taken the masks off. Like, grabbed them. You could have saved 3 lives. Yeah, but you chose not to.
But and then his kids may have died. Probably a third of the world's child population died because everybody had those masks. By the way, amazing shot when you see like some of the Halloween shots of the kids running around with those masks.
I like, dude, that was well, it goes from like different cities, LA and then Oakland, and that was one. I think the cover for the original Halloween is those kids walking, up on the in like Hollywood. It looks fucking cool.
That was badass.
But and I think I read like overall. Stop it! Overall in the film, I'm gonna give the film like a 6.0. Like that's really as far as I want to go with it because I did enjoy it. I'm not gonna watch it. Like honestly, if I watch Halloween the series, I would skip Halloween 3 every time just because it doesn't really belong in the series overall. I don't think it has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It shouldn't have been tried to put in there with Michael Myers, and they shouldn't have used the name Halloween to get asses in the seats. I know why they did it marketing wise. It was just a shitty way to do it. If it had been something else other than within a Halloween franchise, it would have been an all right film. Also, I'm gonna echo a little bit of Roger Ebert actually gave this a fucking dirty butthole in the ass. Like it was bad. I mean, he said he gave it I think a 1 or 2. He said that he thought, he's like, and I agree in some way. He's like, this film doesn't know what it is. He's like, is it anti-children? Is it anti-establishment? Is it anti-corporation? Is it anti-this? Is it anti-that? It doesn't even know what its identity is. And then he said at the very end of the movie, they do a classic cop-out and do a nihilistic end. Like, obviously it's nihilism. Like, nothing mattered what you did. You went all this way and you went on this adventure to stop some evil, and it still didn't matter. Like, nothing matters at the end because everybody dies. So they're like, it's just a cheap, he was like, it was a cheap cop-out. I echo that sentiment, but I don't have any problem with the nihilistic ending in some films. In this movie in of itself, I just feel like, I think the problem is that they never really established an exact plot that they wanted to go with.
Yeah, I see that, but I enjoy the fact that it ends the way it does. It ends kind of on this fucked up, like, holy shit, that was dark, kind of known with him screaming into the phone and stuff, and the dum 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 dum, and just the classicness to it, the fucking masks that come from it, the reason, and I don't think it's so much as a cash grab or trying to use the name of Halloween because this is what John Carpenter kind of always wanted the series to go with. So I think it came from an artistic perspective. I actually give this a 7.5.
Oh,
yeah, I like it, dude. It feels like a John Carpenter movie. It isn't perfect.
It's got bourbon up your butt.
It's got some dumb shit in it, man. But I'll be damned if I don't enjoy the fuck out of this movie, even for all its flaws. So yeah, that's fucking Halloween 3, man.
Halloween 3.
Moving on, we're gonna bring Michael back now, and it's gonna be fucking fantastic and yes. So we love your fucking faces. Comment down below what are your all's thoughts on Halloween 3. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. It gives them a goddamn wham up in you. Gotta be quick with it.
Sham rocks.
You gotta be quick with it.
Drink your beer.
Ooh.
Hit on women at bars. Grab them. Like if they ask for it. All right, this is different times. Yeah.
I play for keeps.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie.